loves, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over royal icing consistency. It is the most important thing. You have to get the consistency right so that you can have the perfect cookies. Today I'm going to show you 4 different types of consistencies. So let's get into it. So let's go over everything that we're going to need to do this. Of course, we need our icing. We have all of that ready. We're going to need some powdered sugar. I like to keep my powdered sugar in a container just so I can easily get to it. You see I have my little spoon in there. It's almost time to refill that. I like to use plastic spoons because I just try and reduce dishes. And now I'm down to 2 plastic spoons. So I'm going to have to wash these. I mean, I do reuse them, but I just typically like to use plastic spoons when I do it. And sometimes that makes people nervous. They're like, oh, your spoon is gonna break, but it's fine. Next, we're gonna have paper towels. You wanna keep paper towels handy. Just have those around. I usually keep like a whole roll in my cookie decorating area. And also you're going to need some water to change your consistency, because you need either water or powdered sugar. Depending on if you need your icing looser, you're gonna add some water. Thicker, you add powdered sugar. Here is my icing. This is pretty much the consistency out of the mixer. And it's not a bad consistency. It's pretty good. It might be just how I want it to be for flooding. We're going to see. I might loosen it just a little bit. I made a little sheet to make it easy to see kind of which consistencies I'm talking about. So first we're going to do outline, then outline and flood, which is what I like to use a lot because I like one bag, you know, and this is going to be flood, where it's just complete flood icing. Next, we're going to go over writing detail icing. So let's mix up our outline icing first. If you need to learn about coloring icing, I do have a video on how to color royal icing. Now, because the gel color is adding a little liquid, I'll probably have to thicken it a little bit. It might change the consistency of your icing, so just be aware of that whenever you are coloring your icing. Okay, so this is going to be more like a outline icing. It's not like flooding all over, but I'm sure if I draw like a circle or something, it's going to hold its shape. So I'm going to put this in a piping bag. There we go. I can make a circle. It's not flooding. That's the outline. You can probably use this you might be able to use this for details too. But I do have a different section for writing and details. It holds its shape. Okay, so the outline that we have, it is thick enough to where it's holding its shape. It's not like moving around too much, but this is just I'm holding it up, but I have my camera in manual focus, but I'll zoom in so you can see it. So this is what I'm talking about, just an outline icing. I wouldn't be able to flood with this because I feel like the flood, it might be a little peaky. So next, let's make an outline flood. This would be like a 1 bag icing that I usually make all the time when I decorate. Add a little more water, just a couple of sprays. I just like to see how it's moving. And the good thing about icing consistencies, I think I'm gonna get tired saying that word, is that if it's not right, just take it out of the piping bag and do it again, you know, work with it. I think this is gonna be good. I feel like I'll be able to outline and flood with this. So let's put this in a bag. If you find that the icing isn't moving how you want it to move on the cookie, you know, don't be afraid to start over. Dump the icing out, you know, and fix it. A lot of times, like and even now, sometimes I can be lazy and I'm like, oh, I don't feel like taking this out and having to stir this icing up again, because this is probably like the part that I don't like the most. It's making consistencies. But I mean, if you want nice cookies, you just have to do what you gotta do. Outline and flood. go. That's my outline and flood. So I made the circle. It's holding its shape. That's outline flood. Next, let's do a flood. Now, flood icing is going to be a loose icing. Very loose. I say very, but you know what I mean. Your stirs, like all these lines you're making while you're stirring, they're going to quickly disappear because the icing is just going to be moving together. There you go. This is a flood icing. It's just moving very fast. It's kind of coming back together all fast. Now, the more water you add to your icing, you're going to have air bubbles. So you can just try and smooth those out, break them up. You can let your icing sit for a little bit, come back and spread your spoon across them. Or once you put the icing on the cookie, you know, you can just pop the air bubbles with your scribe. Okay, you see how it's flooding already once I'm putting it, making it go in a circle? If I was doing this on a cookie, it might potentially run off the cookie. So that's why it's good to have an outline going with the flood. And it's like a little nice barrier. Now, next, let's do writing. You definitely cannot be afraid to go back and forth with writing when you're trying to do a writing icing, because writing is just, it's so important. You don't want to write happy birthday or someone's name and then it starts like flooding over the cookie. So for writing, I would definitely say practice before you put it on the cookie to make sure the consistent is what you expect, because you're probably already writing something on top of a flooded cookie. So you can't just scrape it off. You know, you're going to have to scrape off everything. It's like not buttercream frosting. Thick, but it's getting there. So let's put this in a bag and test it out. Now, I would use this consistency for writing and for some detail, because say you're making like dots or you need to make a whole bunch of tiny little hearts or something. This icing is going to hold that. So usually when I write on cookies, I will use a projector. Right now, I'll probably just trace. Maybe I'll try tracing what I wrote right here, but I like to use a projector. I do have a video on how to connect a projector. I use the Kodak Luma. I have a video on that, and I do have a separate video writing on cookies. So I just teach you just more in detail about writing. So if you do want to check that out, you can. Let's trace what I wrote. Now you see how this is holding its shape. It's not going anywhere. And here we have our outline, flood, writing, detail, icing. So as I said, I do have more videos on royal icing consistency. I have a video that talks all about writing on cookies. So if you need help with that, go ahead on and check that video out. I do have channel memberships available. So if you want to support me in that way, just hitting that subscribe button. I just greatly appreciate it. Share my videos out. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.